vision, and development. 67 years of unparalleled leadership, commitment, service, and representation. 67 years of getting it done for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the mighty PNM. We Talawa. We are unrivaled and unmatched. So today, if you are PNM and you wear your balize as a badge of honor, today if you stand in your Gideon boots as a proud recruit in the victorious and valiant PNM Red Army, today if you know that this is PNM country, and though the weapons may form against us, they shall not prosper, then let me hear you make some noise. PNM family, I am Tennille Solomon, and hosting jointly with me today is the dynamic, dare I say, dashing and effervescent Senator Lawrence Hislop. We are both very honored to serve as your masters of ceremony this afternoon as we celebrate the PNM's 67th anniversary. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is said that the truest expression of a people is in its dance. It is our pulse, our heartbeat, the rhythm of our lives. PNM family, opening for us in dance, please give a warm PNM welcome to Lujo and the Gifted, performing Portrait of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's welcome them on.
Trinidad is my land, and of it I am proud and glad. But I can't understand why some people just talk it bad. But I know all of them will run in the mouth. Don't know where they're talking about. They will pay their black every day, and the right things they would never say. No, our steel bands is the best talent in the world. By calypsos and stories are told, with this rhythm to touch your soul. So Trinidad, this lovely land of my birth, small but overwhelming in birth. And as you know, Carnival is the greatest frolic on earth. When it comes to beauty, Trinbago is second to none. We have Penny Commission, Wendy Fitzwilliams and Giselle Aaron. And if you want to talk about art, we have the Chief Leroy Clark. And if you want these things that excel, we have McFarlane and Peter Minshall. And the sportsmen are rated best in the world, Keyshawn Walcott and Aisley Crawford. They both bought a soma gold. And I must mention a Tobo that Richard Thompson. Ryan Lava record still not broken. And our men and women cricket champions. We have oil and gas, but that's not our real assets. It is we the people, our skills and our talents. It don't matter what it may be, you will always find a trainee ahead at top of the list. This is why I'm telling you this. We have to believe and stay true to who we are. Forget Europe and America and bring back our culture. For we are truly a great nation. All we have to do is work together and keep Trinidad and Tobago a blessed land.
Now, I don't know about you, but I felt moved by that welcome remarks just a while ago. Not only the dance, but my beautiful co-host. And her words of inspiration were indeed exhilarating. Let's put our hands together.
Thank you very much.
So I have a line that says that the PNM doesn't create members, the PNM creates leaders.
Yes.
And to present welcome remarks this afternoon on this wonderful occasion, a young and brilliant woman hailing from the constituency of San Fernando East, the chairman of the PNM's National Youth League. Put your hands together and welcome Ms. Shanika Curtin as she brings words of welcome to us.
Political leader and Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Party Chairman, the Honorable Stuart Young, other officers of the movement, members of the National Youth League, specially invited guests, members of the media. A pleasant good afternoon and happy 67th anniversary to the premier political party of the Caribbean, the People's National Movement. PNM family, look at where we are today. Celebrating 67 years as an institution, providing nothing but extraordinary service to this country as the only sober-minded party to provide direction and a clear vision to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Looking back in the year of 1956, January 15th to be exact, this great movement was born at the Foundation Members Conference held at the Good Samaritan Friendly Society Conference held at Port of Spain. PNM family, our founding father, Dr. Eric Williams, knew that after our conception, that the people of Trinidad and Tobago will look to us to carry this nation through some of its darkest moments and through its mountaintop experiences. That is what the PNM does. We are the People's National Movement, the only true political party that can boast of phenomenal leaders, such as Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, George Michael Chambers, Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning, and none other than our captain, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. We are the People's National Movement, the only true political party that prides itself on succession planning and the development of its young people by providing them with the skills required to take up various leadership positions. Ladies and gentlemen, my task is to welcome you all, but the spirit of the Balize compels me to do so much more. However, I'll demonstrate some well-needed restraint like our dear political leader when those on the other side are being their usual selves. My name is Shanika Curtin, and I am a proud product of the People's National Movement and its policies. Happy 67th anniversary to our great party. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall always prevail. I thank you.
The future of the PNM is indeed bright. Ms. Curtin, thank you again for that very warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, poetry is everything that is human, a rhythmical creation in beauty in words. Here to perform for us, Who Am I? PNM family, let's give a lusty round of applause for one of the leading spoken word performers and art educators in the Caribbean region, the profoundly gifted Mr. Darren Sandy.
Good afternoon. Who here up for a riddle? A little scribble that drizzles a bit of recognition on the ones who listened to the vision and took up the mission. It's easy. Not as hard as that rhyme scheme. You all willing to try? You all willing to try? Well, every time I ask the question, who am I, answer with your eyes. Test time. Who am I? That's it. Who am I? Well, obviously now the eyes will be replaced by a person. Riddle 1. I am the one who took inspiration from Norman Manley and the whole Jamaican situation. I was undefeated from the start in 1981. When I say comet, you comet. Yeah, I was the comet that ignited this galaxy. Shades and airpiece became fashion in this country because of me. I am the doctor, the hope for future millions. Who am I? Who am I? All you had answered confidence, man. Dr. Eric Williams. Good. It get harder as we go along. On to the next one. I was one of the 3 M's in opposition. After Williams, we get sent for 11 times what we end up with. I stood up to the silver fox and oh boy, did we have time bending each other's wits. I opened the gate and made the way for equality. I beat them in the east, I beat them in the west, and evidently I started off as the youngest and ended as one of the longest with an incredible service rate spanning. Who am I? Patrick Augustus Moving Manning. Next one. This one hard, eh? This is for the real people who sleep with their bellies underneath their pillowcase. When it comes to protocol, she is it. Currently alive and willing to instill in any generation the need to respect authority. No wonder she was legislative deputy. Some refer to her as auntie, former minister and all kind of ministry. Who is she? Hit up all head in the night. Very good. Joan Eulie Williams. The next few is quick fire, right? Who am I? Small in stature but ride with the toughest ties. I say if your name man, come outside. Who am I? Next one, I bear the banner of consciousness. I am the side of the righteous, not the wrongciousness. Who am I? Fitzgerald Hines. Next one, I 40 under 40. I come out in 2015 with fire and beauty, with rhyme and rhythm and energy. I perform in poetry slam and present the PNM story. From slow boat to fast ferry, a PNM story. From Pelton Mango to Olympic gold, a PNM story. All you must know, who am I? Next one. All the girls say I strong and handsome and anyone could see. Who am I? Faris Al-Rawi. Next one. Next one. But before that, there's just a few of the past and present pillars and pews that allow this nation to move. This is more than a party. This is the backbone of a nation moving through the rough and striving through the steady. Can you see? That hope hinges in the vestiges of what you have. This is not time to lose ourselves in a riddle or brag of the richness of the past. It's time to continue to right the ship and live as proud Trinbagonians whose Balize red will mean the same as the national flag. So the nation is Dale Singh, Mitchell and Suklal. The nation is Stuart, Ayana and Nayan. The nation is Camille, Penny and Reginald. Simon, Adrian and Morris, Julian. The nation is Donna, Kopi, Schoon and Sinanan. The nation is Foster, Avinash and everyone who represented this party, knowing that you carry the hope of a country, so let's do this. When they ask who this, the answer should be PNM, and the P is for people. So continue to move the needle until this, the last riddle. I know the tendency is to value people when they're gone. I know how the pressures of a desirous nation could leave people forlorn. But here he stands at the helm, husband to a gem, dragged us through pandemic's hell. In his sickness or health, it's easy to throw stones when you're the one throwing them. So tell me, who is he? Head ball, back broad, make space to attend. Make space to attend events where others have not gone, be it funeral or wedding, be it global events or golfing. No poem or riddle could engulf his contributions to the nation when oil was on the brink of extinction. Some will think of the worst ways, not seeing that we holding on still because we were holding on to his idea of a better TNT. Who is he? Who is he? Dr. Keith Rowley. And if no one ever tell you thanks before, then take this poem and place it on that sparse table of gratitude. As much as this was a game, get what I'm saying. Greatest TNT when the PNM leading. Give thanks.
Absolutely brilliant, and passionately executed. PNM family, make some noise once more for Mr. Darren Sandy. Y'all did good. Every single one y'all got right. Well done, well done. We know the leaders, we know the movers and shakers within the People's National Movement. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been said that a people without knowledge of their history are like trees without its roots. Here to edify us on the rich history of the People's National Movement, please give a warm welcome to an Arima native and your PNM education officer, the beautiful and brilliant Senator Laurel Lizama Leasing.
Anansi by Freetown Collective. Memory is a fading star without stories to keep our light. History grows darker than the blank stare space. The spider draws its web across time to catch the fading points before we descend into forgetfulness. We are grand, but only if we remember our grandeur. We are powerful, but only if we remember our power. We are beautiful, but only if stories of our beauty are told. How important, then, is the one who weaves words that by themselves mean little, but together carry nations across oceans, across continents. Through time, the spider weaves webs to catch our light, the glory of kings and queens retold, the triumphs of warriors reborn. Through stories, lost beauty can be regained in an instant for those who believe. But you who have forgotten, are you brave enough to listen? Political leader, party chairman, officers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is our story, and may we always be brave and bold enough to tell it. The Trinidad 100 years ago, during Dr. Eric Williams's youth, is not the country we know now. On the surface, in a time of inequality and the reign of the monarchy, opportunities were limited, and quite frankly, on the surface, the situation seemed fixed for all times. But Dr. Eric Williams saw things differently. He realized that opportunity was knocking at the door and that the country could only move in one direction, forward, and that it did. 67 years ago, in January 1956, Trinidad and Tobago was more than ready for a disciplined, national, rational party. A public lecture was the principal form of literary and scientific intercourse. With burning fires of patriotism, Dr. Williams set about to speak to all who would listen, Between January and June, he conducted over 52 public lectures. It is serendipitous that January 24th has been declared International Day of Education. Our party has always sought to educate the people of Trinidad and Tobago, for it is through education, formal, political, or otherwise, that hope rises. This PNM party is not a party by accident. Rather, this PNM, our PNM, is a deliberate amalgamation of ideas on how to build a nation, how to build her people, how to craft our very Trinidadianness and our Tobagonianness. Founded on the notion of economic, social, education, and political thoughts and ideologies, this PNM, our PNM, represents a cross-section of interests, including those of women and the youth. I dare declare that our PNM has never swayed from these interests. Look at the PNM in Trinidad and look at the PNM in Tobago. That cross-section, that deliberate inclusiveness, our gold standard of inclusiveness, has withstood the test of time and continues to be our ethos. Young, old, male, female, Hindu, Muslim, Baptist, Christian, hardly any, if any, section of society can claim to be underrepresented in the PNM. Look at our deliberate inclusion of all the people. While the Convention and the General Council are in fact our highest fora, the structure of our PNM gives you, the party member, the power to make the difference. The party group, our basic unit. Without it, there is no constituency group or executive or women's league or youth league or general council or central executive. And in proving your value and contribution as an individual member, our current political leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, is the one who further empowered our members to entitle each and every member so desirous to cast a vote for every single office in the People's National Movement. Like David Rudder's hammer, PNM power resides in the simplest office holder, you, the party member. Because of the PNM, I am and you are. We are the products of the party, of the visions of Dr. Eric Williams, George Chambers, Patrick Manning, and of Dr. Keith Rowley. We heard from our Youth League chairman. You will hear from members of the leadership. Everyone who you hear from today reflects the deliberate design of a movement of the people. Dr. Williams posited at the birth of our party that the PNM promises no paradise. It makes no idiotic promise to you that you will not have to work anymore or that pennies will drop from heaven. It pledges that you will have jobs and decent working conditions, a just share of what you produce, social security for yourselves and your children. It does not hold out the ridiculous economics that you will pay no taxes. It pledges that your taxes will be spent on the social services that you need. A vote for the PNM is a vote for your own education. You know this. A vote for a government that is honest and decisive. A vote for dignity of labor, social justice, racial fraternity, economic expansion, a sensible constitution, and a chance for you to hold your head high and for your children to hold theirs higher among the peoples of the world. That is the People's National Movement, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what obtained in 1956, and this year, 2023, it still obtains. PNM, we are grand. We are the grand party of Eric Williams. We are the grand party of Dr. Keith Rowley. We are Trinidadian and Tobagonian, and we are the PNM. We are the party of grand ideas. We are the party of Shanika Curtin and Joe Newell Williams, Foster Cummings and Mahathir Jagmohan, Robert Paris and Rose Janae, Kamaluddin Mohammed and Ayanna Webster Roy, Ovran Padmore and Kelvin Morris. PNM, we must remember our grandeur. We are powerful, we are beautiful, and we are this country's game changers. We are Trinidadian and Tobagonian, and we are the PNM. To paraphrase and borrow from Paul Robeson, with every drop of blood and every stir of my soul, I want to be more Trinbagonian and more PNM. May God bless our great party, and may God bless our nation.
I think we could do better than that. Sobering, riveting, a reality of who we are. It is a good time to be a PNM. Eh? It is a good time to be a PNM. It is always a good time to be a PNM. We are unrivaled, unmatched, and unparalleled. Let's put our hands together again for Senator Laurel Lezama Leasing. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we want to transition into some entertainment at this time. And we want to bring to the stage a young, vibrant man, a man who loves God, and a man who loves people. Put your hands together and welcome gospel artist, Minister Jaron Nurse.
A blessed good afternoon to all protocol observed, to the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley and everyone. I greet you all in the wonderful name of Jesus, and I will never apologize for that. It's indeed a blessing to be here. Happy 67th anniversary. We just want to go down memory lane a bit, and if you know any of these songs, you can feel free to help me sing along, okay? You all look lovely from here. DJ. Still whoa, 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 hey, hey, whoa, 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 no, I whoa, no, I whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey. So the first one goes like this. Oh, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praise. Oh my, and I'm so glad you're in my, so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to. So the boy, you came from heaven to earth to show the way, and from the earth to the cross, my debts to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on. You all sung and loved this, so I'm still trying to find one that everybody know. And I have one that goes something like this. Say I am under the rock, good Lord, the rock is higher than high. Jehovah, oh look at the rail sing. Good Lord, yeah, God tell my enemies in between. Jehovah. One more time, a little more attitude. Say I am under the rock, good Lord, the rock is higher than I. Jehovah, yeah, God tell my enemies, Jehovah. All right, so you're doing a good job of trying to find one that you don't remember. This one might be a little old. So if you don't know this one, don't feel too bad, right? It goes something like this. Oh, yeah. So what you think about Jesus? Tell me what you think about Jesus. Whoa. I need to know, tell me what you think about Jesus. Yeah. So what you think about Jesus? Don't try to tell me my God is dead. He woke me up this morning. Don't try to tell me he's not alive. I spoke to him today. He opened up my blinded eyes and set my spirit. Good Lord, and all I want to know about is one more. Cause Jesus' name so sweet, Emmanuel. Jesus' name so sweet. Cause everybody walk and talk about Jesus. Jesus' name. You could run and talk about Jesus. Jesus. Exercise and talk about Jesus. Jesus' name. Say do a dance and talk about Jesus. Jesus. You could have smile and talk about Jesus. Jesus' name. So favorite one. Stammer and talk about Jesus. Jesus' name. So sweet. And this next one is just to let you know that no matter what you're going through, and that's why I love the PNM, it's built on God business, godly business. So I appreciate them for that. So this one is to let you know that no matter what you've been through, what you're going through, Jesus will always provide. Let me go to it. Jesus will always provide. Why? Oh, I did it, boy. Father will provide, good Lord. Yeah. Jesus will supply, good Lord, more than enough. Whatever you need, more than enough. Yeah. My Jesus will provide. Hey, I'll bring my cupboard empty. Jesus will provide. But in the presence of your enemy, why? Hey, COVID in your country, Jesus will. So what? So when me do and not me no worry, Jesus will always provide for me. Hey, Jesus will provide. Jesus will. And when my cover them empty, Jesus will provide. But Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, I like this part. He better than Kiss and Quello. He keep on putting bread on me table. I Lindos and Freddy, them the ready. And Jesus Christ got the recipe. And he's my chief baker. And so my bread basket always run over. So blessings overflow. No one know. Oh Lord, Jesus will provide. Hey, Jesus will provide. And when my cover them empty, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, favorite verse. And he's my provider, hey, my Jehovah Jireh, and my supervisor. So my blessing run it over. So blessings overflow, overflow. Now I know, favorite part. It's like you're doing it for spite. No matter what, Jesus will provide. Hey, Jesus will provide. Hey, Jesus. You know it, sing it now. Yeah, all this song is nice. Jesus will. Oh yeah, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, oh, why? Jesus will provide. Hey, Jesus will provide. And when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Yes, he will provide. So when you can't control your salary, Jehovah Jireh, hey, my provider. more than enough. More than enough. Hey. More than enough for me. Yeah. I'll take about 30 seconds to remind you that Jesus is always providing, and he does provide in some weird ways. You know, as I say, I'll just take 30 seconds. It have a story in the Bible. He was using a raven to deliver food for Elisha. And I tell my mom, you ever study that? A raven not too far from a kobo. But yet still he delivered, and he delivered on time. He didn't interfere with the meal. God is providing some weird ways. He even provided for me in a weird way. He blessed me with a little baby in the pandemic. Not just now. Bless God for that. But that's the weird way he provides. He blessed me with a little baby in the pandemic whilst I was supposed to be practicing social distancing.
PNM family, how you feeling? How you feeling? Hey, we having a wonderful time this evening, man. Wonderful, wonderful time.
Absolutely wonderful.
How you feeling, Tini?
Absolutely wonderful. I feel great. I'm amongst my PNM family.
Yeah.
Yes.
67. We feel old?
67 years. 67 years of greatness indeed.
Do we feel
have
old?
a lot to be proud of.
No, we have a lot to be proud of. That's
Definitely.
right. That's right.
Definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together once more for Mr. Jaron Nurse. He took me down a memory lane, certainly, with a lot of those old songs. I remember singing those as a little child in Sunday school.
You want to try one?
Probably not now, yes.
Try one.
Yeah, probably not
So
now.
we want to do a roll call quickly.
I think so.
Yeah, you want to do a roll call?
Because we see all these beautiful people out here decked off in their red, well representing their constituencies and looking quite great indeed. Yeah, so I think it's time that we do a little roll call.
Where are you going?
Yeah?
Faizabad?
I must start with Faizabad.
Faizabad in the house?
is my constituency.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Faizabad, make
Faizabad in the
some noise!
Y'all come because y'all know Tinil was the MC. Tinil, you bring the whole crew,
Faizabad
man.
is present.
Where are we going? San Fernando West.
Yes, San Fernando West is here. San Fernando West is here. Let's go to San Fernando East.
That's a rowdy constituency, you know.
Yes. I don't know if the chairman will take that well that you're calling a constituency a rowdy constituency.
Not a rowdy, but in a good way.
Yes.
I always feel the energy from
San Fernando East,
right?
is passionate.
Yeah.
Yes,
so we coming up.
So next, tongues say that this constituency is a city. I hear a lot of people calling it a city. Tongues say. So I want to ask if the city of La Joqueta Talparo is represented here today. La Joqueta Talparo is
city.
present. Yes, tongue says a city. Indeed.
All right, we want to go a little higher east. Toco Sangre Grande.
I think Toco Sangre Grande take up a whole level.
Yeah, because I hear in some here, I hear in some. Yes, I heard you. Don't worry. We heard you.
Doing well. What about the constituency of Aruka Maloney? Good. Aruka Maloney is present.
Yeah, that year coming on the way.
Our lady vice chairman must be very pleased indeed.
Yes. Yeah. Who we calling next?
Well, Arima is Arima
Well,
here. Arima,
where
posse,
Arima?
make some noise. Arima is present.
Arima is in the
indeed.
house. We going.
So they say life is better in this constituency.
Which one is that?
They say life is better
It
in
had to be a Tobago constituency. Go ahead. No.
They say life is better in St. Anne's East. Woo! And the deputy political leader, Dolly, is pleased indeed.
Yeah. They come out in their numbers. Where? All right. In VIP?
All
We
right.
going to go, Martin?
I think we could go to Diego Martin.
Which one?
I think we can go to Diego Martin West.
No, that can't, no,
That-
come on, man. You all didn't expect us to call you so soon.
I
Diego
think that
Martin
is
West.
what it is. I believe that was it.
Diego
is.
Martin West.
Certainly, our political leader and prime minister must be pleased. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Diego Martin Central.
Diego Martin Central, are you here?
In VIP too? All right. How about Northeast? All right.
And what about the constituency of Lopino Bonaire West?
So we don't have time to call all, but before we wrap,
Exactly.
you know, I can't come to Trinidad and not call. So I'm not even calling. No, wait. Yeah, we love W Mirror, we love Lavantil, Tobago, East and West. All right, we're here, and we're proud to be here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Indeed.
we want to introduce a wonderful segment to you. We are the PNM. And to do that segment for you are three hard-working ministers of government who are also PNM officers.
Yes.
Our deputy political leader,
Yes.
let's start with the chairman. So we wanna recognize our chairman who will be on stage when the curtains open. Our chairman, Mr. Stuart Young, the Honorable
Yes.
Stuart Young.
Please put your hands together for the Honorable Stuart Young. Also joining as part of the We Are the PNM production, please put your hands together for Deputy Political Leader, Dr. the Honorable Nian Gadsby Dolly.
And to round it off, the one who they say belongs to the city, our General Secretary, the Honorable Foster Cummins.
Yes.
Put your hands together and welcome our party officers on stage at this time.
PNM family, good afternoon. And to our political leader in our presence, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and all other officers of the movement. And most importantly, you, our PNM brothers and sisters. We, the PNM, are synonymous with the independent journey, development, and growth of this, our nation, Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM is a party of which we are all proud and serve with pride, humility, and honor. As the oil and gas industry is and has been the lifeblood of TNT, so too is our party, the PNM, the premier party buried deep within our national psyche, fueling our progress as surely as the natural gas and oil rises from our reserves. We are the bloodline of Trinidad and Tobago. We have built our country, revolutionized it time and time again, and ensured its continued development for all, young and old, people of all races, gender, and creeds, come together in this melting pot that is the PNM, leading this country with distinction through the most defining moments of our history. This is undisputed. We are the PNM.
And what a proud legacy the PNM has built over the last 67 years, transitioning through time since 1956, evolving, recreating itself while holding fast to its core principles of putting people first. Just as Vision 2020 evolved into Vision 2030, The PNM, this living, breathing institution, maintains its relevance and authenticity by attracting and giving responsibility to the most outstanding citizens this country has to offer, including our young people.
Although we face many challenges as a country, and our young citizens must be prepared to surmount them, as Generations X and Y gave way to Generation Z, the PNM has positioned itself to respond to today's issues with tomorrow's solutions. A focus on youth has taken center stage. The gauntlet has been thrown down to provide opportunities for the development and transformation, meet youth at their point of need, and provide clear pathways out of joblessness and misguided ambition.
These are the best of times and the worst of times. Spurred on by the pandemic, the wave of digital revolution breaks over Trinidad and Tobago, a tidal wave, a disruptor, ushering in a changing of the guards. Our challenges have shifted. Their solutions lie in a similar seismic shift in thinking, in preparation, in paradigm. Creating the citizen of the future requires new methods, fresh ideas. It requires a rethink of our priorities, a reconsideration of the proverbial wheel and its recreation, the mythical box and its boundaries.
Yet, as we respond to the changing wheels and revolutionary boxes of our time, we grapple with the bread and butter issues of modern living, the roads traveled, the harnessing of the waters which seasonally wash our lands, adjustments to the laws by which we choose to govern ourselves. These fundamental issues transcend eras and define the standard of living of which Trinbagonians are so proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the PNM. We are called at this time to lead our country and to implement sweeping reforms to increase efficiency, adaptability, reliability, responsiveness, and sustainability. We are called to raise the bar. And who better to raise the bar for Trinidad and Tobago than the party who created the bar way back in 1956. We are the PNM, the party of big ideas, the party who dared to dream of a natural gas economy, a party who will face the evolving future of energy production with similar foresight, confidence, and preparation, ensuring that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago get our fair share of the pie from the resources with which we are blessed, fueling the development trajectory of Trinidad and Tobago towards the realization of Vision 2030. Importantly, we will re-engage with you, our citizens, and you, our members, to make sure that you are part of the development, part of the movement, and that you are engaged to play your part in the development of your communities and this, our country.
The citizens of our country are the ones who will work to make Vision 2030 a reality. They must be adequately prepared in all spheres to take their place and serve this country in the modern world. First-class citizens, first-class country. First-class education, first-class citizens. First-class schools, first-class education. We are the PNM, the party which is creating the ideal Trinidad and Tobago citizen, a concept which has a unique meaning in this pandemic-changed world, a meaning that has evolved and broadened as has the PNM itself, demanding a modernized understanding of what education is and the opportunity it brings.
Brothers and sisters, we are the PNM. We are the ones who ensure that all citizens, regardless of creed, race, abilities, gender, religion, or ideology, will have equitable preparation to take their place as disciplined, tolerant, and productive members of society, and to enjoy a decent standard of living. What do our citizens need to live fulfilling lives? How can we deliver this? These are the questions which underpin every decision of the PNM, the party that cares. We will work with you. We will listen to you. We will build this great nation of ours with you.
Water, electricity, good roads, drainage, housing, education, clean surroundings. These are but some of the fundamental elements of what we consider a good life. The systems by which these basic necessities are delivered to every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago are as critical as the elements themselves. We are the PNM, the party that has taken action to strengthen the local government systems to provide more efficient service at the community level, spurring the development of well-served communities.
We are the PNM, more than a party, more than a movement, more than the sum of our parts. We are the PNM, facing the future with boundless faith in our destiny, armed with some of the best human resources this country has created. We are the PNM, committed to putting people first, committed to the development of Trinidad and Tobago. We are the PNM, the premier party of Trinidad and Tobago, the party of our past, present, and future. Great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
Who are we? Who are we? We are the PNM. Let's hear it again. Put your hands together again for our chairman, deputy political leader, and general secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, our next performers need no introduction. They inspired us to believe and had an entire nation singing, "Let's do this" in 2015.
PNM people, let's hear it for our standard bearers, Peter C. Lewis, I. Sasha, and the Northwest Laventille Cultural Movement.
This one is for the PNM family. We ready now. We ready now.
Hey, you're listening now. It's a celebration. Get up. Happy anniversary, PNM.
Boy, oh yeah. Vote for the PNM.
Wait, what's wait?
Raise your finger and put it there.
Wheel.
Tell everybody, join the PNM party. I say this is all your chance.
DJ, wheel. Thank you. Don't worry, you understand. Hey, PNM family, happy anniversary. No, that ain't something like all this celebrate, you know. PNM family, happy anniversary. All right then. Listen, I want to say thanks to the PNM for having me do these things, because I've been doing it a while now, since Patrick Manning, and I've been coming up. And Dr. Rowley, thank you very much for having me doing this thing. And as long as I could do it, I will continue to do it, because great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and it shall always prevail. Happy anniversary. Next track, let me go. Hey, 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 come on. Say I believe. Say I believe. Say I believe. I believe. If you believe. Let's see one hand in the air like this. Come on, everybody, come on.
We've come a long way together as a nation, standing side by side. Still a long way to go, we gonna get there, standing side by side.
No!
I see the faces, the races, the spaces, the places where we all come from. I see the Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, the Syrians united all as one.
We're gonna get there. 2025, we have an election to win. Oh, I say we're gonna get there. If you believe in the PNM, put your hands in the air. Come on. I must believe. Hey, you must believe. We must believe. You must believe. Come on. I must believe. We must believe. Whoa, I must believe. Listen, let me hear you sing. Come on. Hey, say I believe. I believe. Say I believe. Alright, DJ. Stop it.
Island's best.
Thank you. We have to cut that little thing now, you understand? Well, give me a round of applause, self now. All right, thank you. I feel nice when I come on Napa stage, you know, it's so good. I feel like I'm in concert. But you know what? We're all the real PNM people who believe in the People's National Movement. Because this is an institution. This is not a pickup side. An institution that we celebrated 67 years. And right now we are under great leadership. Put your hands together for yourself, PNM people. Make some noise. Next track, let me go. You know why? Hey!
All will be fine. Look, we made the right choice every time. Still a job to be done and a race to be won. And we know we will win every time. Just keep the faith, heads up high. We're together in this, you and I. Yes, the job will be done and the race will be won. And we know we will win every time. Why? And we go vote for the love of we country. We go vote to protect the treasury. We go vote. It's only Dr. Rowley, the right choice from TNT. PNM is the choice, PNM is the voice. PNM all the way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the Bali's, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, the General Isasha.
Yeah. Hey, anyway, right choice, right leader. The struggle for the nation, your life matter, yeah. Real leadership, yo, we promise you forever, yeah. Vote PNM and everything will be much better, yeah. Strength and knowledge in 5 years of government. Never again will we allow mismanagement. PNM is here to stay and love is permanent. Loyal to the flag and never bow to establishment. What them try if it trick and sell out. But them can't buy my vote, me no bow out. Them better move when red army a run out. All the deceitful people will get bought out. Yeah, we know Dr. Rowley, a leader phenomenal. The UNC full of pirates and criminal. Send for the duck, cause the state is critical. Surgery to perform, and this country's political structure. Send for the doctor again. Sign my name with a golden pen, a golden pen, a golden pen. I want you sign my name with a golden pen. Cause we vote in PNM. Everybody vote. Sign my name with a PNM pen, a PNM pen, a PNM pen. I want you sign my name with a PNM pen. Every vote in PNM. Everybody say PNM is a PNM power. PNM a positive healing power. PNM moving forward together.
Listen, Richie not here. What we gonna do it for him?
All are we is one family. All are we is one family. Working together to build this country. When the world was shaking, everyone agreed. When the world was shaking, we happy for see. And that is why we vote.
If you love the PNM, put your hand in the air. Hey, hey,
Super.
hey.
Super.
I want to see everybody start to wave now.
Super.
Here we go. Left, right, left, right. Boy,
Red. This is on the hour. Red.
hey, 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 hey.
Red. If you love the PNM, say yo. Say whoa yo. Whoa yo. Whoa yo. Whoa yo. Say whoa yo. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM, and we will always prevail. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter C. Lewis. But to continue the rest of the show, the legend, I, Sasha. PNM family. How are you feeling? Oh, this song is a little shaky. How are you feeling? Nice, that song better. Give me the tune. PNM family. I want to hear every voice. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, yeah. Everybody, say let's do this. Treat me over, you ready? Yeah. We rolling with the red army. You're for the love of your country. Please, your vote with it. Treat me over, you ready? Yeah. We rolling with the red army. You're for the love of your country. Please, your vote with it. Say, come on, my people, let's stand together underneath the red, white, and black banner, yeah. Burn out corruption like leaves it a scatter. Tricks and insult the people, them flattered. The partnership done sink already. We voting steady for Dr. Keith Rowley. Right leader, right time. I've made up my mind. Come on, sing it. Say, let's do this. I ain't all you. Let's do this. Oh, this song is so fun. On the show, well, are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Lock it out and borrow. Well, are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. We rolling with the red army. You're for the love of your country. We often boast and say God is a Trinity. A blessed nation, the Caribbean envy. I love a sudden like the place get heavy. Things now move right, God no like ugly. So come on, my people, let's do this together. Build back this nation for one another. Say come on, the children deserve better, brighter days. Yeah. So let's do this. I want to see some hands, let me see it. Let's do this. Come on, come on, come on. Let's do this. You're for the love. Place your vote with the PNM. Should be a go while you're ready. We rolling with the red army. You're for the la 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 la. Top to Rowley, a leader phenomenal. The partnership full of pirates and criminal. Send for the doc, cause the state is critical. Searching to perform, and this country's political structure. And he is the doctor we need. 24 veteran, a man to lead. And the all who voted for PNM and the PNM team, let's do this. My people, are you ready? We rolling with the red army. You're for the love of your country. Place your vote for it. Let's do this. Let's do this. I know you. Let's do this. Let me see some hands. Let me see some hands. Come on, come on, come on. PNM family. I love you, yeah. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail. I love you. PNM family.
Later, and that song still resonates. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once more for Peter C. Lewis, I, Sasha, and the Northwest Laventel Cultural Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a signal honor for me to introduce the next speaker. Hailing from the beautiful Isle of Tobago, the passionate and purposeful Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for gender and child affairs and Member of Parliament for Tobago East, the Honorable Ayanna Webster Roy.
A man fall season, brave enough to take flight over an active volcano in pursuit of scientific data, courageous enough to enter into international boardrooms and negotiate billion-dollar deals for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, skilled on the cricket pitch, skilled on the golf course, his family describe him as a loving, dedicated provider. His friends call him the life of the party. Our beloved, undefeated, leader phenomenal, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley.
Thank you very much. Party officers, party members, supporters, all people of Trinidad and Tobago, PNM people today. 67 years. And we never get weary yet. We of the PNM, we bear that label with pride. 67 years in human life is a lifetime. And we have lived it in the islands of Trinidad and Tobago, in the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, when things are good, it usually not seen as good by everybody. But it's for those who benefited, for those who had the vision, for those who made the investments, and for those who carried the burdens. On a day like this, we say one general thank you. And today I want to ask you to join me in shouting, thank you. To the people like Dr. Eric Williams and his team who saw these nations and believed that we could be better and succeeded in making us better. If I set about to call the names, it will take us all day into tomorrow. But we simply collectively say, thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you to the PNM. "67 years of building a nation is a very short time. Some people are hundreds of years old as nations and still struggling with the basic elements of their constitution. On Friday, we used our constitution and simply and smoothly elected one of our finest citizens as president of our republic. And as pleased as you are in the majority, the vast majority, that simple act was offensive to some people. But that is life. That simple act. It's not the first time. It might be every time. Because if I tell you now that similarly, when the PNM set about to make change, there's always some resistance. But because we are confident in the rectitude of our cause and the benefits to be had by the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we press on. Some would have you believe that this label PNM is something to be ashamed of. But for those of us who know that PNM means 12 general election victory in free and fair election, we see that as a badge of honor. And it wasn't always easy and automatic sailing as some would have you believe. Spent 16 years in opposition, and some of our finest thinking took place outside of government, when we plan what we will do when we get into government, and we use the authority of government to build this nation, to the point where maybe now the latest, youngest generation just take it for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, independence was a leap of faith in a world that was dark. Trinidad and Tobago in that world is a shining light. We are proud of the nation that we are from, that we own, that was bequeathed to us, and we are proud of that red, white, and black. Because we have used authority in government to change the life of our people for the better. How many of you remember intercol football? You could have counted all the competing teams on one hand. KRC, St. Mary's, NAPS, and maybe one or two more. Today, try as I might, I can't keep pace with the number of competing schools, because there are so many secondary schools in this country that the traditional winners now hardly get to the forefront, because education had been opened up to all four corners of this country in hundreds of institutions. And for that, we ought to realize that what lifted up virtually every family in this country in these 67 years was education opportunity. Unfortunately, many of the most educated today are in the forefront of being PNM haters, flatly refusing to acknowledge the role that public policy played in changing their lives from where they were to where they are today. Because they always believe in those situations that it was always so. I remember going to high school in Tobago, and from the hills of Concordia seeing the boat, not the ferry, the boat coming in from Trinidad. It would have sailed from Port of Spain at 8 o'clock that night. And I'm going to school 8 o'clock the next morning and the boat is still coming in. We can see it on the horizon. I go to school, spend my school day, and at 2:30 when I came back out, they know offloading the boat in Scarborough. Because a trip from Port of Spain to Scarborough was a harrowing multi-hour journey. Today, two of the finest ferries sail between Scarborough and Port of Spain. I remember going from the airport to Scarborough, and that was another harrowing trip. Today, the Claude Noel Highway is taken for granted. Many forget that that was a major political fight in Tobago to build that highway. There were persons saying, we don't want no highway, lie down in front of the bulldozer to stop it. And so effective were they that the contract was in fact stopped. And when it was restarted, you had to pay off the first contractor and pay a new contractor, and that cost $44 million more. But then in those days, going down to see the plane at Crown Point Airport was an outing for children. DC-3s landing on a grass strip. Today, as we did last week, I visited Tobago to see for myself the breaking of the ground for the building of another fine facility in this country, the Tobago Airport Terminal building. We take healthcare for granted in this country and spend our time bad-mouthing the healthcare system. And nobody could tell you that the nurses and doctors are not the devils incarnate. But as soon as they feel a pain, you know where to go? And expect the finest service and leading edge technology for free. And they will not acknowledge that in Trinidad and Tobago, our health service is the best in the Caribbean. And then comes a pandemic. And there's no time like building a fire brigade during a fire. But we had our fire officers in place, and COVID-19 challenged them to the full extent of their professionalism. And they stood up in the gap for the people of Trinidad and Tobago like no other. But even that is not a subject to get 100% support. Life and death, pandemic once in a century, and there are those who will tell you, not coming, not taking part, not supporting, not playing a role. I'll try to undermine everything you do. But that has been the history of the PNM. If I tell you tonight, or today, that we will not have the Unit Trust Corporation in this country because for some reason it's offensive to some people, you would ask, how many mad people on the streets outside there? But the coming of the UTC as an institution to benefit the small man in particular, so you could buy units in the corporation and be part owner of the larger wealth of the country, that was opposed by certain people in this country. Today, we take those things for granted. But we have built this country step by step. And you know, you would hear the word democracy being used by everybody in this country so very loosely, especially the most undemocratic people. There's a political party whose term came to an end, the officer's term came to an end, and they just stay in office. Just stayed in office. It took a revolution of the members to remind those officers, hey, your term is up. Call elections. And they call the election and they rig it. But now you're conducting public business in full public view in the most democratic way, and they are the ones shouting democracy, 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 and our democracy is being undermined. If you undermine your own party democracy, who could trust you with the country's democracy? And these are the small things that differentiate us from the others. And that is why today I could tell you that the PNM in its 67-year history has comprehensively defeated every other political party that showed a face in this country in 67 years. Many of them, the defeat has been so comprehensive and the foundation has been so loose and weak that they never appeared again on a ballot in this country. We have defeated almost 70 political parties in Trinidad and Tobago, and that, for me, is the true test of democracy, because the people of this country come out and choose in free and fair elections who they want to lead them. And by vast majority over the many years, they choose the People's National Movement. And even when we are down in the deepest nadir, and there is no faith among many that we can return 33-3, the advice was, take off the Balizé tie, change the party name, or you may never win a seat in this country again. We said no. That Balizé, that symbol is for all time, and that name, People's National Movement, is for all the people for all time. There are many people who we owe a debt of gratitude, which we may never be able to pay. And on occasions like these, we need to reflect on the thoughts and the life of Dr. Williams Dr. Patrick Solomon, Kamaluddin Mohammed, Errol Mahabir, and A.N.R. Robinson, Muriel Donovan McDavidson, Auntie Mina Clark Allen from Toko Sandigrani. How did these people manage to contribute so much of their lives so that our lives can be better? It is because they were basically decent, right-thinking citizens who wanted the best for all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And on occasions like these, I offer myself to you as living testimony of the role that public policy can play, must play, and did play in the lives of many. I started off in a village in this nation before independence, being born in a tapia house in Mason Hall. But then, the opportunity for education, which had nothing to do with me. I was simply a vessel being protected and guarded, and offered that opportunity. It was grasped with tremendous encouragement from my villagers. My parents, my grandparents, my neighbors, my brothers encouraged me to make sure that that opportunity is used. And even without knowing where I was going, putting one foot in front of the other and opening this book and closing the other one, I made the trip. Public policy, giving young people a chance to be the best that they could be. And the next thing I knew, there was an exam to pass, and I passed it. Another exam, and I passed it. And automatically, you know, opportunity was there, supported by public policy. I've gone to university. And before I knew it, I was in a political party. And I must tell you how I got into this political party in 1974. It was a good boof that I got from a PNM man called John Scott, who was a geologist like me. But he was older than I was, a bit of a mentor to me. And in 1973, it was fashionable to be very critical of the PNM, as it always is. And coming out of the 1970 revolution, I too was, you know, impatient with the rate of change and the symbolism that the years were tampering with. And I kept talking about this and talking about that and being critical here and being critical there. And John Scott was a good listening ear. And then one day he said to me, "You should shut up. Because it's people like you who this country has done so much for. And all you could do is criticize. And you will never come forward and repay the debt that you owe this country." And I felt so chastened because it was true. And I thought about it deeply, that I could have been so guilty of such infraction that a few months later I went to Scotty and I said, "I want to join the PNM with you." And he said, "True?" I said, "Yes." I was living in St. Augustine at the time, and he escorted me to meet 3 of our stalwarts up there, 2 ladies and a gentleman, and I joined the PNM in 1974 in Tunapuna. And that was my beginning. That was the career in politics that I hadn't planned for, but which I'm very grateful that I was able to be in a position sometime later on to contribute to the revival of this party. Because when 33-3 came, I was able to accept an appointment in the Senate, because the PNM is about opportunity. At this point in time, in our 67th year, it falls to me to prepare the next generation of PNM leaders. And party members, party supporters, I ask you for your support in supporting this period of transition, strengthening the PNM to serve Trinidad and Tobago, not for another 67 years, but for an endless number of years in a future that is most uncertain, but needs the PNM more than ever. We have made significant strides. We are respected internationally. But the road ahead is not going to be a permanently smooth one. In fact, when we look at our economic possibilities, we look at the demands of our children, the requirement for health care and attention of our elderly, the challenges are all very significant. I don't want you for 1 minute to believe that it's going to be plain sailing in Trinidad and Tobago. There are difficult times ahead, and we have to prepare to deal with those difficult times. And it is not everything that we have been accustomed to that we can claim as entitlement because circumstances change. We have to be able to manage the change and survive within that change environment. I ask you to think, PNM members, when we are told that we have enough gas to last for another 10 or 12 years at the rate at which we're consuming it. No more new gas is being made. Some more can be found. But I want you to leap forward 8 years. But before you do that, look backwards 8 years where you were 8 years ago. And then come forward to today. So you have a feel for what an 8-year period is like. And put yourself in our 8 to 12-year period when things could change significantly if we are not able to find the resources, to earn the revenues, to give you what you have been accustomed to. But there's a common saying in this country that it have more mad people outside than inside the mad house. And that might be true. Because how do you explain to an educated population that we are in fact benefiting largely from state support where our bills are being paid in many areas by the state through public policy? You use water, the state pays a significant portion of your bill. You use electricity, the state pays a significant portion of your bill. You use the health system, the state pays a significant portion of your bill. You use the telephone system, the state is involved in some way there in supporting that. Public transportation, largely supported. You travel to and from Trinidad and Tobago, the state pays a significant portion of your bill. But let's take one little example in the changing time. And let's take electricity, where the whole electrification of this country had been a PNM program. I was 10 years old when we got our first light bulb light in our house. Before that, it was lamp, kerosene lamp, all over rural Tobago and Trinidad. But we built up where now our children take it for granted that electricity lights, electricity, Wi-Fi, automatic requirements. But there's a bill running at the top of that supply of billions of dollars which remain unpaid. Central government is paying that bill outside of your view. That's the bill that TNTech owes the National Gas Company. The National Gas Company buys that gas from the international companies that produce it. And you, the user, you're required to use it, and you've been using it. The company that is supplying it to you, if you do the accounts, receivables and payables, you will see that there's a significant gap there. It's called bankruptcy. And there's an independent state agency, not the government, not the government. An independent state agency under law that has been put there. It's called the Regulated Industries Commission. So the cabinet does not sit down and decide what to charge you for water or for electricity. To prevent the cabinet from doing that, in the political heave-ho that will take place, there's a law under which the Regulated Industries Commission will exist and will use all the information, all the facts, And these independent people will make a judgment as to what is a reasonable price that you should be asked to pay at this time for the electricity. And ladies and gentlemen, that process is taking place right now. And I see my colleagues in the opposition inviting me as Prime Minister and my colleagues in the cabinet to get involved in the RIC discussion. And the reason for that is to politicize it, to defeat the purpose of the existence of the RIC. Because it is precisely because they did not want the politicians in office to be the arbiter, the sole arbiter. You created an RIC to handle it. So the RIC is doing it, and they're inviting us to get involved in those discussions. And of course, the RIC makes proposals based on all the submissions made by the entity. They need to know where you're getting the gas from, how much you're paying for it, what's the reasonable price, if you don't pay it, what can happen, and so on and so on. And of course, you go out there to conduct the consultation, and political failures take over the process. And every night is the same political failures who out there telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago that the RIC is the devil, the government is wicked, and the proposals are unconscionable. But let me tell you all something, PNM people and the rest of this country. What is unconscionable is if we do not rectify the situation, put some ease in place for TNTech, and avoid TNTech being in a position where they have to cut the service to the nation because they cannot pay the bill and the raw material isn't available. But you know what is being said to intelligent people? Well, we have oil and we have gas, so why we should be paying more? There's no country in the world that has more oil and gas than the United States. But I'm sure you all would have seen recently where the price of gasoline in the United States went up to almost $7 a gallon, US dollars. It is because you are engaged in an economy where you buy the raw material and you sell the finished product. That's the arrangement. So don't let anybody come and insult your intelligence and tell you because there's oil and gas in Trinidad and Tobago, the government should not, or the state should not ask anybody to pay any more for it. And they say, not at this time. Okay, fine. Which time? When is it ever a good time? Because every time there are challenges. There are always challenges. What we are required to do is what the PNM has done for 67 years, is to make good decisions in the best interest of all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. 67 years of that. And that is why in 1961, 1966, 1976, 1991, 2000, 2015, and 2020, people have gone to the polls and by majority selected the PNM to run this country. Statement of fact. Some people don't like that. And they're just downright jealous of the people's national movement. And that is why in many cases, they can't even call a baseball match in a park. They can't call a netball match nowhere because they have no good intentions for this country and they do not wish to stay the course. It's all about what is useful today, how many people we can fool today. We in the PNM, we are here to stay the course, come fair weather or foul, and we commit ourselves to the wheel for whatever comes to and for the people of Trinidad and Tobago for all times, for every year, for every day, for every week. And that is why our party units meet every month. We have our convention every year, and we look forward to every election, whether it's a Tobago House of Assembly election, or a general election, or a local election. The PNM looks forward to meeting and treating with the people. That's what it is. So then we can come here after 67 years, look back proudly at what we have achieved, and look forward confidently at the problems that we are engaging because we have the confidence that our future is secure in the hands of the People's National Movement. That's what we can do. We have confidence in this country. Many of us have 2 feet deep in the mud in Trinidad and Tobago. So when we say Trinidad and Tobago, we mean we born here, we live here, and we're going to stay here under any circumstance and rectify it if we have to and enjoy it every single day. That commitment you only get from the PNM. I notice there are some people with 1 foot in Trinidad. The heel of that foot is outside of Trinidad and Tobago, and the other foot is way out of the region, and staying there and telling us every weekend what to do and what not to do. You want to stay in other people's country and enjoy their country? Well, do that. But leave us to run Trinidad and Tobago the way the people of this country want it to be run. And many of them who have 1 foot here and 1 foot outside, they have a basket taking what little we have and taking it out there, and leaving the rest of us, children and all, to suffer from what is left. But we have always in the PNM been committed to Trinidad and Tobago because we believe in Dr. Eric Williams, we believe in his party, and we believe in the principles that this party stands for. Ladies and gentlemen, it has not been easy, but it has been a good life in Trinidad and Tobago and a good history for this political party. Today, when I meet my CARICOM colleagues and we talk among ourselves about what is going on in the various countries, to a man and woman, they always acknowledge Trinidad and Tobago as a successful Caribbean nation to whom they look for guidance and, in many cases, leadership. So it is for you to listen to what is said. Praises are few and far between coming from those who oppose you. But the average person in this country will acknowledge that the PNM is worthy of saving, of being a part of defending, and certainly to vote for in an election to protect Trinidad and Tobago from the alternatives. You've come from all over the country, as you always do. The PNM functions like this. We are the only national political party in Trinidad and Tobago representing all interests, cutting across race, color, creed, class, and religion, age, and geography. And once we do that, and we are that, no mountain will be too steep for us to climb, and no river too broad for us to cross, as long as we do it together. The greatest attempt at togetherness in this country is the political entity of the People's National Movement, within which every creed and race finds an equal place in what is something that is not a party in the ordinary sense of the word, a pick-up side to win a seat, or an opportunity to get a title, or worse, to put your hand in the treasury and be a little more wealthy than you came into office. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to continue to be proud of your party. I ask you to continue to be patriotic to this country, to continue to believe that these islands that we call home are in fact paradise in a very, very turbid world. Look after your family. Look out for your neighbors. And believe that if things are difficult in some areas, we will fix it so that more and more areas will be places that we can look as successful endeavors, and all of us can meet that rising tide that will lift all boats in Trinidad and Tobago. So happy 67th anniversary. It's a good time to read our history, both of the party and of the country. It's a good time to think about what's ahead of us and prepare yourself for the people of Trinidad and Tobago continuing to support democracy in the purest way and the best way that we know how. Congratulations and happy anniversary, and may God bless us. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
Good day, my people. This one is for you, our Trinidadian people, Trinidad and Tobago. La da dee doo, la da dee doo, la da dee doo, la da. Boom bang ba dee dee da. Such a rarity to born in TNT. You could see that as lucky or unlucky. But once you're living here, this is your family. Ayo, 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 ayo. Niceness of the land is in the sea and sand. Is the champion in every citizen. So don't let nothing hold our people down. Ayo, cause when we cry, whoa, it is before a short time, and when we smile, whoa, it is stretched from mile to mile just to survive. Oh, it takes spirit deep inside, we always shine. Yeah. And I could say exactly why, cause we create the rhythm in this calypso. And we who make the carnival that the world knows. So if you feel it, you should let it show. Cause we are It's we who make the pan in the last century. Our people from Japan come here just to see. So if you're doubting your ability, don't this we country, cause we are holy. La-da-dee-doo, 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 ba-ba. Even though we are 1.4 million, we does make quality men and women with intentions to forge we nation on. Ayo, 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 ayo. It's the struggles we face here every day that make leaders rise out we community and sometimes creating great history. See what they strive for was a stronger TNT, risking their lives for the common folk like you and me. We know they had pure for them to fight so viciously. So take some time to respect legends of TNT, cause here is with the garden fight for civil rights. And Anthony Sabga break economic strife. And Uriah Butler get colonials a fight. Cause we are C.L.R. James make people stand up tall. And Leroy Clark give TNT his all. So tell me how could you say you wanna fall? Not this we country, cause we are holy. Tell them. La-da-dee, 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 ba-ba. La-da-dee, la-da-dee, la-da-dee. Everywhere we go, people always agree that we are the life of the party, representing we land infectiously. If you have some of we in your DNA, then you could become a celebrity, even if you're from foreign country. Because we vibes pure when we having a good time. The whole world dark for so, but TNT in the spotlight. We life is like a show. and that does make hard times all right. So let me tell you why my people shining so bright. Is we who put the wine in Mighty Sparrow, and we who put the hype in Marshall Montano, and we who put them legs on we boy Atto. Is we who put the flair in Brian Lara, and we who get White Yorkie raw power. So if you're feeling like you are not a star, don't diss we country, cause we are holy. Tell them.
Thank you.
Talent abounds. Talent abounds. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once more for the very talented and young Helen Francis, 2018 Calypso Monarch.
That's right, that's right. Brothers and sisters, we heard our leader, phenomenal. Put your hands together again for Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. I don't know about you, but I feel rejuvenated, not only as a PNM, but as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago.
Indeed, indeed. Inspired. What an inspiring speech and contribution by our political leader. Very important reminders of the contribution that the People's National Movement continues to make to the development of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
That's right.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is said that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, it is the parent of all others. We, of course, at the PNM are a people of exemplary virtue. And so, to present this evening's vote of thanks, we invite our distinguished General Secretary, the Honorable Minister of Youth, Development and National Service, and Member of Parliament for Lahokita Talparo, Mr. Foster Cummings. Let's warmly welcome him to the podium.
Thank you very much to Neil, our political leader, the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. Could you give him a round of applause for that? Very. And of course, our newly elected party chairman, Stuart Young. Our newly minted deputy political leader, Colm Imbert. And Diane Gatsby-Dolly and Rowan Sinanan, all members of the party leadership. It is only the PNM that can celebrate 67 years as a political party in Trinidad and Tobago. To the organizing committee that put this function together, we say thank you on behalf of the leadership and executive of the PNM. To all those of you who left your homes today, you had other activities you could have taken part of today, but you chose to spend it with the PNM. To our party membership and supporters who came out here, we say thank you. To all the backstage support management, all the performers, the members of the media, our specially invited guests, to the police and the security that are here with us today, we say thank you for sharing our 67th anniversary with us. The founding father of the nation left with us a legacy. He left with us a movement that we intend to leave for future generations. And we thank you for celebrating this milestone with us. We say thank you to our Father. We say thank you to God for allowing us to be here today and for taking us safely to our homes at the end of this function. We have planned for you, as you exit the auditorium, some entertainment out in the lobby. Don't miss it. True PNM style. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much, and please get home safely.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we close the curtains on this evening's proceedings, and we thank our General Secretary for his vote of thanks, it was indeed wonderful being your host this afternoon. I want to thank my lovely co-host, Tinil, for gracing me with her presence and for you being such a wonderful audience. We also want to thank the party's leadership for affording us this opportunity to be with you this afternoon.
Yes, indeed. So PNM family, tell us, did you have a good time at the PNM 67th anniversary celebrations? I wish to remind you, just as the General Secretary would have indicated, remember the after party awaits. Live performances from Raymond Ramnarine, Viking Ding Dong, Olatunji, and others right here at the foyer just outside of the auditorium. So PNM